You're listening to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS podcast with hosts John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, everybody? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Better Baseball MLB DFS Playbook podcast here for Thursday's 5-game main slate. James, the second to last show of the season here as the regular MLB season comes to an end on Sunday. Thursday, Friday will be our final podcast and live streams of the MLB season here. We got a 5-game Thursday for the final Thursday show of the season.
Yeah, an interesting little slate, a lot of playoff implications. Dude, imagine being Seattle, right? And your final two series of the season are Houston, Texas, back-to-back to you possibly get into the postseason. So it should be a fun one. Again, a lot of playoff implications on this slate. The Cubs are fighting for a playoff spot. The Marlins are fighting the Cubs for a playoff spot. Texas, Seattle, the Yankees are currently maybe ripping the jaws out of Toronto's playoff hopes and dreams right now. So a lot of fun on the Thursday main slate.
100%. A lot of fun on the Thursday main slate. Again, we got 5 games here. There is some rain symbols for the Mets. So should we be worried?
I don't know. We'll have to follow Steve Cohen's apology tweets in the morning to see what his thoughts are.
See if the field is going to be in the right conditions if they handle a little bit of rain here on a Thursday. But anyways, as we mentioned, 5 games here. Some pretty interesting spots. You have the Yankees versus Toronto, Miami versus the Mets, Chicago versus Atlanta, Dodgers versus Colorado, and Texas versus Seattle. Some of these guys are finishing their series. Some of them are starting their series to end the year. Pitching wise, we have Gilbert and Luzardo, both guys up over $9,000 here. Montgomery's at 88 and Bassett's at 86, and those are the only 4 pitchers above $8,000 on this 5-game slate.
Yeah, and I don't know which one stands out the most. Logan Gilbert is in a pretty tough spot against Texas, who had Corey Seager back after the x-rays immediately upon the day after. So, not really down with Gilbert. Luzardo, the Mets continue to prove they hit lefties well. They crushed Braxton Garrett in the day slate on Wednesday. He's been inconsistent, so he's more of a tournament play. Jordan Montgomery is probably the safest bet. 3 straight starts of 20-plus fantasy points, 7 innings, and 1 earned or fewer, but he had struggled in the 2 starts prior to that. So, but he does have 7 scoreless against Seattle just, 5 days ago. And then Bassett against the Yankees. Look, we've said it a lot, and more often than not, righties have had success against the Yankees. When Aaron Judge hits 2 home runs, and you move on, right? Like he's had 2-3 home run games this year. I think I saw a stat that he leads Major League Baseball in multi-home run games this year. And he's only played 100 games. So we got onto the call and I said, so pretty much Aaron Judge would have hit 60 again if he had played a full season. But I'm willing to go back to Bassett, just considering, what the Yankees have done against right-handed pitching this year. So I think Montgomery and Bassett are actually my 2 favorite.
I'm with you there as well. Good price tag on both of those guys here, given the matchups that they have on the board. Stroman as an opener, which kind of, can't go there then, obviously on a smaller slate. Assad's a long reliever, kind of takes two pitchers or a pitcher out when it comes to the matchups here. What do you make of like a Luke Weaver at $6,700? We have a guy that we've stacked against, but he just went and shut out Arizona over 5 1/3. We know Toronto's struggles at time this season against right-handed pitching. Is it a Luke Weaver? Do we give him a go? A small slate. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and if you look at, the Yankees starting pitching have shut the Blue Jays down the last 2 days. Garrett Cole just complete game shutout, 2-hitter against Toronto, and the night before that, Michael King 6 scoreless innings. So, Toronto is scuffling right now. Maybe Luke Weaver. Now, I think there's 2 sides to that, John. You could sack against Luke Weaver, and I wouldn't fault you. And if you want to play Luke Weaver because you look at the rest of the value, I wouldn't blame you. So he's probably the furthest down I'd go. Maybe take a shot at David Peterson. We saw the ownership last time against Philly. He kind of sucked, but he struck a lot of people out. So if he strikes a lot of people out again and he's a little less sucky, then maybe he'd be worth the play. So I think between Peterson and
Yeah,
Weaver are
I'm
your
with
two
you
value
100%.
options.
Let's move on over to the infield positions here. Again, on a smaller slate, so we got to kind of pick and choose where we want to spend our money. And when you have Chris Flexen in cores, that means we're going to try to find ways to get Dodgers. I don't know if we can find the money to spend Will Smith, but you've talked a lot about it. Will Smith is often the overlooked Dodger, so maybe being a little contrarian to find a way to spend a $5,800 on a small slate. But if not going there, where do you find yourself looking at catcher?
Since we're going catcher, Elias Diaz 3,900. Jan Gomes gets a lefty here. John, sew it up, shut it close, shut the door. $3,300 for Jan Gomes, I think, is the chalk pick. I will say, and I said it to you the other day, Austin Wells is someone that we have to look at, and Chris Bassett's struggles against lefties haven't changed. Austin Wells 3 home runs in his last 5 games. I would take a stab at Wells if you're not using Bassett, or if playing multiple lineups and you want to just a one-off a Yankee, or Wells has been hitting in the middle of the lineup. He probably correlates fine with Judge. So Austin Wells
Love it.
3,000, Jan Gomes 30.
Getting off the catcher position, I like to just sort of single it out because oftentimes we don't really review it as much as the other positions. If we are looking at first, second, third, and short, again, smaller slate, so there will be some obvious places to go. Luzardo is one of the top price pitchers, but do you look at Alonso and Lindor and the power hitters for the Mets against these lefties?
Yeah, you obviously can. Lindor homered in both games of their doubleheader on Wednesday, now giving him 29 for the year. Alonso also homered in that first game of their doubleheader. So they're coming into this game. The problem is Alonso had been horrible before the doubleheader. Hitting below 100 in that span. He's really been all or nothing of late, mainly all year. This is a Max Muncy-esque line, John. 217, 45 home runs, 115 ribbies. So, sure in tournaments.
Anybody else when it comes to the top tier price points?
Chris Bryant, 4,600 against Ryan Yarbrough in cores, first base only. Nathaniel Lowe, 4,300. I would play Marlins, so Jake Berger, 4,300. He's hitting 440 over his last 10 games. Ezekiel Tovar, I mentioned a whole bunch lately, but it's been worth it, $4,100.
Colorado finishing out the year with some home games, good for DFS, good for fantasy, right? Getting those scores games in. Giving them a chance for some production here. Smaller slate for some value. Again, you can go ahead and play the Dodgers value if you want against flexing, Rojas or Kike Hernandez, whoever's in the lineup. Again, it's Chris Flexen. He's not very good, and it's in Coors Field, so do what you want there. Did you mention Brendan Rodgers? I know he's usually a guy you tend to go to. We got a lefty in Yarbrough on the mound here.
Yeah, no, I haven't gotten to value yet. So Rodgers and Elihuris Montero both in play against the lefty here. All they do is hit it home, and both of them hit lefties fairly well. So
if not in on Weaver, I know you mentioned the Yankees pitching have done well, but Brandon Belt against Weaver, lefties were the ones doing the damage. So if you want to give him maybe a peek, yeah, I think you certainly could do so here. Kevin Biggio, another guy that could find his way. Been playing a lot lately for Toronto anyway, so certainly could be in a spot. And then Vientos is someone you've highlighted often at first base, so not going Alonso. Vientos is down here at 27.
Yeah, and Vientos homered again in that first game of the doubleheader. So he's done nothing. He's done nothing but homer a lot since getting everyday playing time. Wait. We have a. Also, I'm surprised you didn't mention maybe the best value play on the board. John Birdie.
Yeah, where's
John Birdie? $3,000. He's 3K second base.
Another home run, 4 hits so far in the doubleheader on the day. I mean, it's pretty good stuff there.
Pretty good stuff.
What else we got going on here?
That is really it.
James just alerted me that the board wasn't showing this whole time, so I apologize to you, but we talked through the slate, so that's fine. Nothing new that you haven't been missing. Outfield. We'll finish off in the outfield for for the folks at home here. A couple bets, Judge top tier. You mentioned Aaron Judge and his ridiculousness of late here. 3 homers a couple of days ago, double dongs on Tuesday or Wednesday rather. You're running it right back. I know you liked Bassett, but
Look, it's just one of those things. Like if that's where your build takes you, then play Aaron Judge, right? Like he has so many home runs. Just hits so many home runs. He hits more home runs than everyone else. Like that, I don't know what else to say. He has as much upside as any player.
J-Rod gets the lefty here against Montgomery. You also have Soler against the lefty and Peterson. Some pretty popular spots I think most people will be looking to go. JD Martinez against Flexen. Again, we don't need to explain why you should be playing these guys up over $5,000. When you go below 5K, Noah Jones against the lefty is still something I'm willing to play. He handles both sides of the plate pretty well. Where else are you looking to go in the mid 4Ks?
James Outman homered on Wednesday. I would play him in cores. I'd be interested in the Braves because we're only going to see a limited Stroman. And even limited Stroman hasn't been good. Like Stroman just hasn't been good pre or post injury, really. So I would definitely go Braves, Harris here in the mid tier, Ozuna in the mid tier, both in play. Seiya, I know he had the dropsies, maybe ruined the Cubs season, and Cubs fans may never forgive him if they don't make the playoffs. But I love the spot. He may or may not be the cover of tonight's show. So Seiya 42. I mean, he's been one of the best hitters in baseball probably for like the last 2 months. Like at least one of the most steady. He's been their best hitter over the last.
Yeah, again, we've been in on him a lot lately. Hard to argue really with the production you're getting. Carter against Gilbert. We like Carter. I know Gilbert's been pretty good, but you can always kind of give him a look if you wanted to there. As well.
Yep.
You've talked up the Dodgers outfielders. Hayward better than Peralta, but both of them they're under 4K and pretty good spots. Outman started, got him in 43 as well. So if you want cheap outfielders for the Dodgers exposure, it's all there waiting for you.
Yeah, I'd probably play all of them. I don't know Peralta if I'd play Peralta.
Any other value plays in the outfield for you?
Garrett Hampson, if you're not in on David Peterson, has been pretty good for the Marlins this year. Just kind of thrust into things, and he's responded. That's probably there is some ugly value.
Play,
Jesus Sanchez. You're
gonna have to wait till lineups really come out.
Varsho 31. I mean, I know he has not had a good year.
Not Bassett's. Weaver struggled there.
Luke Weaver,
so maybe.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a lineup for the folks at home. You want to go Bassett at 86?
I'm good with Bassett and Montgomery.
Bassett, Montgomery are the two you're looking to go to. 4K. You said Yanni Gomes? Yanni Gomes is at 33. All right, we got 41.85. Birdie?
Second base. I was thinking Burger, you said? Maybe? Yeah. Birdie, yeah.
Birdie at 3K.
I was looking at him at second, but also you can play like Brendan Rodgers at second.
Good to get some cores. We got 45. We want core, so I guess we fit Freeman, gives us 4K. Would you pick a Freeman or Mookie if you had to pick one?
Flexen's been worse against lefties. So probably Freeman, but also, Freeman Outman, maybe? Yeah. Freeman Hayward, Freeman.
Do you like Hayward or Outman? Hayward hits closer to the middle of the lineup, right?
Outman homered on
I'm going to say 7th today, so.
Yeah, Outman hit 7th, Hayward hit 6th. Really.
All right, so 39.66. Yep. Let's see, what do we have for other value here? You mentioned Sanchez. I don't hate it. I know he's been terrible, but he's still.
He homered on. I mean, it's a lefty.
Is he a lefty? He is a lefty. Okay. Do you want to go? Where was it? I just had it. Now I lost it. Where? No, because we're pushing Bassett here. 31. So. Say it.
Yeah, on Bassett's side.
There. That works. It's Seiya and Varsho. So he gives us 4,600 for third baseman. Yeah, I'm good at burger.
Morel?
Some burger sauce there, Birdie. The double B's. Killer B's. Keep it rolling.
Ooh, nice. New Killer Bees.
All right, so we got $300 left over. We have Bassett, Montgomery, Gomes, Freeman, Rogers, Berger, Birdie, Outman, Seiya, and Varsho. Just an example lineup. Love the playbook out. And, of course, we will have the live stream at 5 o'clock. Get everybody updated and ready to go for this 5-game Thursday slate. Find us in Discord. Get us on Twitter. Good luck, everybody. We'll talk to y'all later.